on the list is Jim Mason.
Good evening. I'm here for some answers also. I'm a lifelong resident of Cape. My brother Ronnie and I bought a house up on Lake Street, up next to the Catholic Church. We're in town, but the town wants a water district up there, Water District 6. So I came to see you and ask questions. I want to see the map, the project map. Didn't have one. Cliff stuck his head in, turned around and left.
I didn't realize I was invited to the meeting.
So I didn't know the cost. Well, I found that out because I talked to Bernie and Carr. 2.8 million. This water district is going to encompass, to the best of my ability or the best of my knowledge, that part of Lake Street from the Catholic Church, part of Kennedy Street down one house past the Catholic Church, and then across and up through the Lighthouse Road to your property. And we were going to get a survey. We needed 85% of the people in the survey to vote for the survey, so to speak. And they needed $55,603 as a median income to make the grant work. The benefits of this Water District 6, from your letter: adequate water flow, sale of water will be at a wholesale rate, which is $5.10 a 1,000 gallons. And I was wondering, is that a guaranteed rate? And for how long? When are you going to charge us more? And that the town would perform the operating and maintenance. And then the last sentence or two, it says by voting for this grant or filling out the paperwork for this grant, it'll comply with New York State DEC, New York State DOH, Department of Health, regulations, and to avoid termination of water supply of existing outside users. So that kind of sounded like maybe it was a threat, that if you don't vote for this thing, we're going to shut your water off. On January 23rd, I received another letter from E. Reinhardt. She's a member, or he, I don't know, is a member of the Water District 6 Committee. I didn't know we had one. She informed me that I was one of 22 more neighbors that were coming into Water District 6. So now there's approximately 90 users. And as a reminder, I would be receiving a confidential questionnaire that noted, or that needed to be completed and returned promptly, as this construction would start by the end of 2013. Also in the letter, I was advised that the cost would be $609 a year plus usage. I'm glad Matt Cooper showed up tonight. He had a lot of information for me. It's only $400 and some a year, and that's with the usage. Well, that's an awful big difference. I went to see Mr. Hershey again about the map, and we talked about a two-tier payment. And I talked to Matt again tonight to get some numbers on that. And apparently there is a two-tier payment. Those of us that already have village water will not be in the construction phase, so we don't have to pay for the construction phase. We just have to pay the town for our water. But we would still pay time and a half, if you will, for village sewer, since we will be in the village sewer system, part of it, but we'll be in the town part of it for water. So this confidential survey came. My confidential survey was number 104. Doesn't seem very confidential when you got a number on it, does it? So I called Urban. I said, what number's yours? He said, number 1. Okay. I can live with that. I checked with my neighbors. They're number 101, 103. If there's only 90 houses on this project, how do we get up into the hundreds for surveys? Something ain't adding up. If I saw a map, maybe I'd know where those other pieces of property are. Or maybe we're padding the survey. Next, the survey says under $5,000, up to, at $2,500 increments, $150,000 plus. So if somebody up the river road is making $300,000 a year, their number is only divided as $150,000, not $300,000. So the number, the average, would be skewed to be closer to the bottom number to make that water line work. So I got a tax map, and I counted all the properties along the river road. 75 properties from Valley Road to Mr. Hershey's house. And then there's roughly 12 on the east side of Valley Road. So that's 87, so that's approximately 90. But still, the survey said 104 was my number. Dick, my next door neighbor, he got the survey. He said he saw a number on it and he threw it in the trash bag. Looked at the number and said, well, it's no need of filling this out. Nobody needs to know what my income is. So we discussed how we might do that in the future. So maybe that'll happen. The other thing, has any thought been given to the age or the size of the septic tanks out on Tibbetts Point Road?
We don't, there's no septic tank.
On the septic,
There's no septic system.
No septic system, right, so they're septic tanks.
Yes.
And rock is fairly close to ground level, and there's a lot of bog areas out there. And how many septic tanks are able to take all this extra added water that's going to be put into the tanks when people get this new water line? That's something that needs to be checked. You got all of those cottages out there that they put in a semicircle years ago, and I don't know how many septic tanks are there, but that's all circled also by a bog area, so that's all going to drain right into the river. So I went to the village to see about annexation and talked to them about getting our few properties in the village. And somebody, of course, once you say anything to anybody, the cyber bullies got to get on and start all their stuff. And they asked me if I, or there's a comment in there, if I knew what I was going to pay in village tax. Yes, I do, with the new assessment. And prior to talking to Matt tonight, I would have saved money by getting into the village and paying the village tax, reducing my water cost and my sewer cost because I was in the village, so I would have broke even and not been tied up with this water line going through. So I guess in summary, oh, I did one other thing. I checked with the water system, as the board has, with Fourth Coast on putting a water system in up at the Lighthouse, because that's part of this water district, is to put potable water up at the Lighthouse for the hospital. $7,100 to put in a water system, ultraviolet light, filter systems, etc. And $3,400 a year to maintain it. That's to turn the water off, turn the water on, change the filters, add salt, change the UV light once a year, etc. So that's a long ways away from 2.8 million. So in summary, I guess I need to see a project map, and then maybe we can make a more informed decision as to getting into this water district, filling out the questionnaires. The other thing I need to know is, how come there's 90 houses, but there's over 100 surveys? Why is the income limited at 150,000? If there's people that are making 200,000, then that should be on that questionnaire so that that number is averaged into the other numbers. How many people go to the hospital each year? Once you get the water there, how many people are really going to use it? And I'm not talking just somebody that stops up, takes some pictures and leaves. I'm talking about people that are staying there. How much money is generated in this town by the people that stay at the hospital? They usually come in on bicycles, have a backpack. So I don't see how much money they're generating in this community. And then the other thing is, back to the threatening the people, we're gonna shut your water off for the outside users. They have no control over how the other people vote on this water line. So, you know, you're telling them to get out and tell the other people they better vote for it because they're gonna shut my water off if we don't get it. Thank you.
Okay, a comment.
Yep.
Okay, we've got that on recording. I will personally see that you, in this whole audience, gets answers to that. Because
Okay.
I want to make sure that this is a fair thing and that everybody understands it. Okay?
Right.
As a matter of fact, Matt is here to kind of give you a brief discussion. And after we're through with this, I'll ask Matt to stand up.
Sorry, Matt.